Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's reading vlog, which incidentally is also quarantine day 4 for me, after returning from my trip. If you haven't had a chance yet, you can watch my vlog that I put up last week, which was actually a travel vlog, so it didn't really have anything to do with books, but it was to update you guys on how my trip went to Colombia. Obviously went well. I've made it back home. I'm alive. It's great. And I've just been, the last 4 days I haven't had to work or do anything because I decided to take the rest of my vacation so that I could chill and be like prepared. But I'm excited to start work tomorrow and be like talking with people, even though I'll have to do it from home. It'll feel good. I mean, we're all in this situation. What else is there to say? But I have big bookish plans at least. I am powering through. I'm trying to power through the rest of my TBR for March. I already put up my March wrap-up part 1, and I, of course, read a shit ton of Kindle books, and I continued. My second one will have a lot of those too, but I'm really trying to finish up my physical TBR. I finished Well Met yesterday, which you can like see up there. Finished This Vicious Cure. And then today I'm reading Hate to Want You, which if you know on my vote on my reading pick, you'll know that this one was on there and it didn't get picked, which but I still really want to read this now that I realized I've had it for a year. And it should be a really fast read, so I'm going to read that. Also, I need to get through The Unhoneymooners because, yeah, I'm way behind the curve for this one. So I'm going to try to read that. And then I need to do my reread of A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is the anniversary special edition and, or the collector's edition. And it's so beautiful. Look at that gold print. So that is kind of my goals for this Sunday. I have a couple of video chats set up with friends today just so that we're keeping each other, happy and healthy and mentally there. I am a very socially active person. I normally have something planned almost every day of the week. So looking at my schedule ahead of me and realizing that there's nothing there, I can't even go to the gym. It's depressing. I know it's depressing for a lot of people, so I'm not alone in that, but that doesn't make you feel better when you're at home, right? So I'm going to try to do some of my workouts at home. I can still go outside, like I don't have to stay locked inside, so I want to go for a walk. It's finally like nice today. Getting those spring-like weather, so I'm going to go for a stroll, I think, to just enjoy the sunshine and fresh air is my plan. So but otherwise, I'm going to try to have lots of content coming out for everybody, so that we have stuff to watch. That is what I'm going to take as an upside since my hobby is reading and my, other hobby is making videos for you guys about said reading. I think that I'm in a good position for this. I'm also going to pick some TV show to binge. Thinking I might do Little House on the Prairie. I haven't done a rewatch of that in a long time, so that could be fun. I also was thinking about rewatching Hell on Wheels or else The Vampire Diaries. So I might do that. Who knows? I also need to catch up on the final season of Supernatural, so I could do that. So there are definitely options. And yeah, we will get through this. So I'll check in with you on my reading soon. Hey guys. So we're in a little bit of a different space than you normally see me because, ooh, that's gonna bug me. Let me close that. Because I had to set up a little desk area in my apartment. I thought I was gonna be fine and do things the way they were and just work from my couch, which is usually how I work from home. But yesterday we got an email, which, we're getting tons of emails about how things are going. But first one said that they were pushing us back working from home for 1 week. And then they said, forget that, we're tired. We don't want to keep, pushing you guys back 1 week at a time. Just plan to work from home indefinitely until further notice. Didn't panic for a minute, even though that is super stressful to me, that We don't know when we'll go back, but it's okay. Again, I'm blessed to still be able to work. I have friends who are trying to find other jobs because they own their own business and they're not going to be able to make money for now. And so they're trying to find different jobs to do. And it's like, I can still work. I just need to upgrade things a little bit. So what I ended up doing is I went to 3 different stores, keeping social distance. I was trying to find a desk because in my room, I have a lot of bookshelves. But I was like, I can take down one of them for the time being. And I was trying to find a desk. And I didn't want to spend a ton of money on a desk because, I mean, I just didn't want to get something huge and hunky and like really pretty, but ultimately I don't have tons of space. So my one friend had mentioned that she just bought a folding table. She found a rectangular one that was small and she uses that. Granted, she has a bigger space than me, but she still liked it because if she ever needed someone to like sleep in her spare room, she could fold down her work table and be fine. So I ended up going to 3 different places and I found this table. I'll show it to you here. So I found this little folding table at Fleet Farm. And then I found the monitor at Walmart. Walmart had got this huge influx of TVs and monitors because people are stuck at home, so people are wanting new TVs and stuff. And so it was only about $50. And then I ordered this really cute desk chair, which hopefully I'll get by next week. Everything is like back ordered on Amazon. That's why I couldn't order a desk there because it was going to take till April. And I'm like, well, I'm working from home now. So I got this set up. I just have a kitchen chair right now. But now I have this space in my bedroom where I can do work at and then I can leave it. You know, I only have 2 rooms in this house or in this apartment, but at least I can like leave my workspace now instead of just sitting in it 24/7, which isn't good for you up here. So I have my snacks. I have, you know, my fun little things. I can decorate this little corner. I have so many fun bookish decorations. And now I'll just have this little corner. And it actually worked really good because this is narrow. It's not really in the way of my closet. I can tuck the chair all the way under. I mean, I don't have tons of room, but it worked out. And then there was just one shelf that like I had to box up the books and I put them in my garage for now. They're my nonfiction books and my Terry Goodhine series, so that's fine. But anyway, that's kind of an update on my little office situation, and it could be fun. I think maybe I'll film from here a couple times, which could be cool. Reading-wise, I finished The Unhoneymooners, and it was good. It started out really rough for me. I really didn't like the characters at all, but then it had a really fun twist, and I didn't foresee the conflict was actually, I mean, I don't know so much about believable just in like the grand scheme of things, but for these characters, I believed that they would have a hate situation because of this, because I don't want to spoil it, but it was good. But I ended up giving it 4 stars because it was a very slow start and it really drug out for me. But it wasn't the worst thing that I've read and it was fun. And then I also finished Rafe, by something Witherspoon, Rebecca Witherspoon. This is a buff male nanny story, and it's actually the beginning of a series called Loose Ends, and it was super hot. I've been hearing it was hot, but it was super hot. And it's also an interracial couple. The mother is a single Black woman. She's a doctor, and she has 2 little girls who her girls are what's it called? Her girls are interracial. She has 2, because her first husband was white as well. And then she ends up with a male nanny, and he's hot, and it was great. It was really fun. So I highly suggest that one. But yeah, as always, keep telling me if there's any special recommendation videos you'd like. I'm trying to make a bunch of those again, just since we're stuck. I think the video I'm going to film next will be recent Kindle books I've bought, because I've purchased a lot of books, not just using Kindle Unlimited, because I really want to support the authors. And I mean, if it's on Kindle Unlimited, obviously I'll get it, but it's also nice to support them because I can spare it. I'm one of the people in the community that it's like I want to keep putting my spend forward my money forward to help people. So anyway, the goal today, because I've been doing really good, I've gotten through a physical book every day so far, and so I just have 2 books left that I need to get through physically by the end of March, and then I'll have like finished my TBR. I'm really excited. I need to finish, and this one is 2 months running, I need to finish Steelheart. Like, I just need to. I'm this far into it. I was really enjoying it, and then I just was in the mood for romance, as I usually am. And then I need to read A Court of Thorns and Roses, which was a reread pick that I picked from this month. So that is what that's looking like, and I'll check back in with you later this week. Hey folks, what's up? You know, I apologize for having been in the exact same outfit on the previous 2 clips. I was just starting to like put my clips together and I realized I was wearing the same shirt. I did wash it in between those 2, but you know, there's no judgments here. We're all stuck at home. It's not like I'm sweating in the clothes or anything. And I have remnants of makeup. Like, come on, guys. You know, we're all in the same place. So, continues to be a good reading week for me since there's nothing else going on. Oh boy, looking forward to busting out of my house tomorrow and gonna go visit my friends. So that'll be great. Yeah, it's been okay. I've like got a lot of work done. Like, work has been really productive, so that feels good. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I've got to say. Let's talk about some reading. So I am just at the halfway point of My Dark Vanessa. Ooh, it's rough. It is rough right now. The way this guy manipulates this poor child and the way she's still being manipulated. It hurts to read, guys. Like, it's painful. I don't know how I'm going to feel at the end because it's so hard to like this girl, but you feel so deeply for her. Like, I know that's weird, but I'm very frustrated with her because that's not the kind of person that I am, but I haven't lived through this. So I'm trying to be very conscious of that in a way of, we're dealing with a girl who, and a woman now who is literally like stuck in this and has no way out. And you can't really see the reasons for it other than this guy is the worst. And as the accusations just keep tumbling out, she just keeps blaming herself and saying that she could have got out of this before, but she didn't. And now that she's in it, she doesn't ever want to tell the truth. And I don't know what's going to happen. It's hard. So the other book that I'm reading is, I made a lot of progress on Court of Thorns and Roses yesterday. Man, it's hard to read this one, but it's also fun because I'm picking up on a lot of things. Like, there was just the really powerful scene where first when we meet Reese for the first time, and then when he has his first interaction, and the way that you can see now that he's putting it on, you know, that he is putting on this facade, and just hearing the things that Tamlin and Lucian say, where the first time through this book, you're on their side because you have no reason not to be. And hearing the things they say to him, and that they just have no clue what this guy is doing and the sacrifices he's made. And then, but seeing the opinion Feyre is building of him that we're going to have to break down later on is just so painful but powerful. And I already know I'm going to rush on to Akamath because I have to. Like, I can't just read this. And I really should have picked Akamath as my reread for April, but I didn't because I was like, no, I'll pick a different one. And I might change my mind and do that one, but I also want to read A Great and Terrible Beauty, so I'm so torn. Oh my word. But I just love it. I love it so much. And yeah, so I'm watching Grey's Anatomy. I'm having a little bit of a lunch break. And yeah, gonna do some reading while I do that. And yep, good times. Good times. I will maybe film a clip hanging out with my friends. I don't know. We'll see. Otherwise, I'll wrap this up on Sunday like I normally would and let you know everything that I read. So there we go. Hi, everyone. Time to wrap up the week. So as usual, being at quarantine, I had a really good reading week. I finished up March reading, and I actually started on some of my books for April already because I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. So you will see the rest of my full March wrap-up will be coming out on Tuesday, which is tomorrow from now. I broke my plan where I don't do a vlog the last week of the month because I hadn't done a vlog in a while. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about the books that I read that aren't in that, because I did finish some of those this week, but I'll save those for that wrap up. So the books that I finished, let's do this. So I finished my reread of A Court of Thorns and Roses. Yes, this is my beautiful copy. I think I've shown it to you like 50 million times already, but it is super beautiful. I actually think I'm going to do a discussion video for ACOTAR. I know that that's old news. So many people have done it, but I was doing this reread for some particular reasons. I want to prepare for Nesta's book, which is supposed to come out a year from now, and I really just wanted to refamiliarize myself with the characters and with this world and just really dive back into it. And I'm never someone who was a hater for this world the way other people were or are. But I understand why, if this is, because you have to start with this book. If you just take this book and believe that that's all you're going to get out of the series is a repeat of this, I think you're doing yourself a major disservice, because the place that Feyre starts at, the place that all our characters start at, Sarah was very brave. I believe that she was very brave to start out with a heroine who's not super likable, and to have a love story that isn't the end game be the focus of this. But it is still a well-told story, in my opinion. I think that it is pretty predictable in a lot of aspects, but it's setting you up for something that could not have been predicted. Because if you ask anyone who doesn't know about spoilers what they think will happen next in here, they would tell you this is a complete story. Where are we going from there? And I just love that, and I love this series. So then I immediately had to start A Court of Mist and Fury. These are covers that I got from a book box when there was a book box that you could buy all new covers. So this is the one for that. I am 180 pages into this one, and it's really hard to start it out because Feyre's in such a dark place. And like I said, you get to see those changes happen. And I love Feyre, and it hurts me what she went through, and it hurts me what Tamlin went through. Just being honest. He went through some trauma as well, and the way he handles it is not in a good way. But Feyre doesn't handle it in a good way either. And the miscommunications lead to escalations very quickly. And then we have Rhysand stepping in and trying to help in any way that he can. And I really appreciate that about him. And I love this book. And I'm so happy that I'm rereading it. I'm probably going to devote most of today to the reread of this one, because after I have my church service, online of course, there's nothing else going on. It's my free day. So I'm probably going to devote it to rereading this because I love that. Next, I read a couple Kindle books. So I read this book called Low Down Dirty by Holly Trent. And this was not what I was expecting. So this is about a woman who she has been working on a development project in this, her name is Valerie, in this part of South Carolina that's kind of like the Podunks. Or the, boondocks. And she's been working there for like 6 months. And one of the people she works with ends up taking her to this special house where there's not a lot of people in town, but they still like to have their fun. So it's actually a kink club where the guy who owns it, it's funny because he uses all of the profits he makes from this to refurbish the house. He uses them for like interesting things anyway. And the guy who owns it, his brother is a guy named Tim, and Tim used to be a dom, and he's trying to not be a dom anymore. And Valerie used to be a submissive, and she stepped away from that because she doesn't feel like it is conducive to her career to keep being in these relationships. And she's had some pretty bad dom-sub relationships. Not abusive-wise, but just they haven't clicked. It hasn't been what she's looking for, but she still loves the feeling of it. But she also pushes herself too far. So the thing about this book is, from the description, I was expecting this to be a really dark, sexy, just the need rolling off of everybody. And it was actually a really pleasant book. And I mean that in, if you're not really into BDSM, maybe you're looking to take a slow step into it, or you just want to see what it's all about, I really suggest this book because it had a lot of conversation. These two communicated very well about what they wanted from each other. Valerie explains why she likes the scene, why she stepped away from it, why she still craves it. Tim is a divorcee who, he was married to a woman who ended up being a lesbian, but they're still really close friends. And he has a son with her because they got married really young. And he's still looking for a serious relationship. So for him, that's why he's stepping back from the dom scene, because all the women that he's been interacting with, they just want someone to, you know, boss them around and then leave. And he really wants someone that he can be with forever. And when he meets Valerie, he just has a feeling that if they got to know each other, they'd really fit well, because they want to have BDSM as part of their love lives, but then also still be able to have a normal life in other aspects. And it was just really beautiful. This wasn't overly sexed. This wasn't overly kinky. It was, like I said, a really soft intro to the scene. And there's actually only like 2 full-on sex scenes. And it was really good. It was really good. So again, I highly suggest it if you'd like to know more about BDSM, but you don't want to be like, what did I get myself into? Because I've definitely done that before when I first started. Then the other Kindle book that I read was Out in the Open, and I don't remember the name of this author. But I found this book when I was actually looking up male romance authors. And the thing is, I wanted to find male romance authors who were writing male-female romances, because I wanted to see how, I wanted to kind of do something where I compared the two to see what, if I could tell the difference between if a man wrote this or a woman wrote it. But, and that's something that's still coming. I did find a few that I'm interested in reading. However, this one was a male-male romance, and it's not my favorite trope of it. Like, this was a one guy's in the closet, the other guy's not, and I'm not a huge fan of those. Like, I know I've read a few of those, but that's because there's a lot of that trope, because it has the forbidden aspect of it. But this one takes place out of college, and it's kind of a weird situation how it gets started. But there's this guy named Greg, and this guy his last name is Folly. I can't remember his first name, but they meet at school and they just have this crazy chemistry, and it's almost like a hate to love thing, but not fully, because Greg doesn't hate this guy. It's just that Folly gets kind of a weird vibe around him, but they end up kind of being friends with benefits. And Greg has been kind of hiding who he is, but also it's because he's in a fraternity and he's really scared of or nervous about how they would feel about him and everything. But I don't know, it's just really cute because these guys are messing around, and slowly Folly is like, this isn't just like hate screwing for me. Like, I like you, and if you're not going to claim me as your boyfriend, then I'm out. So kind of the typical situation that you see with like someone in the closet and someone not, but it was still really sweet, and I gave it like 4 stars because it was a good read, but it's a little more angsty than I care for in my male-male romances. Like, in general, I can only stand it so long in any romance when the people really want to be together and they're like, oh, I can't because society. Like, I don't have time for that. I don't. Then the last book that I finished is My Dark Vanessa, which I just finished last night. This is by Kate Elizabeth Russell, and this is heavy. I've already read one hard-hitting contemporary this year, and that was Us Against You. And I don't usually read so many of them, which I know this is the second one, but these are painful for me. So if you don't know, this book is about a girl who was molested and raped from the age of 15 until 25, basically, by a teacher who is almost 30 years older than her. He's 27 years older than her, and he starts grooming her at the age of 15 and ends up having sex with her and just uses very strong mental manipulation to always make sure she feels culpable, to make sure she feels just enough in love with him that she would never betray him. And then, so we see this starting, there is a time period of 2000 when this is happening to her, and just how he slowly breaks her down and ruins her. And then it's taking place in 2017 when a girl who was being simultaneously molested by him has come forward and is trying to get justice. And it isn't just her and Vanessa who've been abused. It is tens of girls over a 30-year teaching career who've been abused. And we're dealing with Vanessa, who's still in contact with him and speaks with him regularly as he tries to manipulate his way out of this, as he tries to convince her they're all liars. And she is so brainwashed and gaslighted by him that she believes him. And it's very, very painful, because that doesn't make for a likable character, but it makes for a very sympathetic character who you just want to save her from all of this, but you can't. I gave it 4.5 stars. It is a very powerful read, and I think if those kind of stories speak to you, that you would enjoy it, but not. Like, it's one of those, like, you can't really enjoy it, but you can respect it and appreciate it. All right. Then I just started, this is the historical romance novel that you guys picked for me to read in April. My Dark Vanessa was an April pick too that I'm finished with already, which is funny. I'm reading Falling in Bed with the Duke by Lorraine Heath. And this is the start in the Hellions of Havisham. And this starts off with a girl named Minerva, who she's had 6 seasons, and she's only been faced with fortune hunters and guys who don't love her, and she's apparently not beautiful enough to tempt someone who loves her. And so there's this place in town called the Nightingale Club where all of the ladies go and they wear a mask, and all the men don't. And the lady gets to pick who she has a dalliance with that night, and it can be anything that they want it to be. The only rules are that the man can't see her face so that he doesn't know who the woman is. So it might be someone you know, but you don't know that. And he also can't try to find out who it was, or he'll be kicked out of the club. Because the point is if they want the women to feel safe and free to come live out their, sexual desires, they need to not fear retribution. And I just thought that's such a cool setup. And so we have Minerva, who she's a virgin, and she decides to go there to get deflowered, basically. And then we have the Duke of Ashbury, who they actually know each other in acquaintance. And when she has her mask on, Minerva just feels so free to talk with him and to maybe have him be the one for her. However, she decides to not go through it. This all happens right away. She decides to not go through with it because he's able to kind of talk her around that she should have someone who loves her be the first person she does this with. And he doesn't like to be gentle, as we say. And he actually talks her out of it. But as soon as she leaves, he immediately regrets it. And he wants to meet her in real life because he's like, wow, I can tell this woman is a lady by the way she dresses and the way she talks and acts. And he's never felt someone that he wanted to speak with more than once or twice. And so it's a very fun beginning. So There we go. That's everything I've read so far this week. I put up my videos 3 to 4 times a week, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications when I upload. Thanks so much for watching. You have a great day. Bye.